Okay, Spartans Elite, we're back with another global top 50 takedown. This time it is King back Eric's base. Wanted to show this one, guys, because it's the first time, I believe, and I could be wrong, but it's the first time I believe that we're going to face a corner base with the Shock Blaster 3. And you'll see kind of why I have a much higher recommendation, or where I personally use the Shock Blaster 3. It's just much more effective at tanks. If you guys saw the previous video when I took on MX Fook, you'll see right there, lost 10 tanks, all the rifles of course, and a medic. Against Kingback Eric, I lost 13 tanks, obviously all the rifles. Didn't lose any medics, but the tank losses are a little bit higher. You'll kind of see why as we go through this attack here. So Eric has, I believe, 7 ice, but only the masterpieces are boosted, which kind of gives it the functional equal of being, I guess you could call it a 5.5 ice base. So even though he has the Shock Blaster, I still do my routine where I take out the shock launcher and one of the boom cannons on the far right. It just makes the final approach much easier. Now this lance a little bit different. There isn't the boom cannon isn't that close up, so you'll see I have to employ a couple of shocks and critters earlier. I mean that Shock Blaster 3 is literally just eating through the rifleman. I think at this point there's one rifleman left. Throw some critters up here by this boom cannon to get it to turn and distract. And now I'm continuing to shock this Shock Blaster. In hindsight, what I should have done maybe is throw some critters at this boom cannon, because I think this boom cannon picked off about 3 tanks. Now it would have cost me some GBE to take it out, and maybe I would have needed that GBE at the end. It's difficult to say. The base went down, and at the end of the day, that's kind of all I care about. You know, guys, I'm not one of these global top players. I mean, sure, technically I'm ranked in the top 200, but those of you in my task force know, I mean, half of you guys are better skilled than I am. Certainly in ops, I guess I do fairly okay on some of these top bases, especially with this troop combo, which has obviously become my favorite for these top player bases. Somebody sent me a message on our lineup. He's like, well, how come I don't use RZCM? And I do. It's just for these top bases. My fail rate is lower. If you guys saw my activity log, I mean, this was the only attempt I needed against Kingback Eric. RZMC, sometimes, you know, if the smoking is poorly or the troops don't deploy in the way you expect them to, I mean, sometimes I can be going through 2 or 3 attacks just to get it right. And again, my big concern is gold. We did have gold in the reward book today, or at least I did. It's the first time in 3 days I've had gold, and gold is a huge factor when you're getting up, when you're having troop attacks where you burn through all your troops. You need gold. If you guys, probably nobody other than me cares what my VP's been, but I've actually lost some VP last couple days because I haven't been able to do a map clear. Now back to this attack. You see running super low on the GBE, so I threw those critters by that boom cannon. Don't have any more for a shock. Wanted to come on in here, and then I flare that final boom cannon. A couple of artilleries. I mean, I am out of shock. Shocks got too expensive. I had to burn a couple shocks early, if you guys remember, to freeze that Shock Blaster 3. And so, in my opinion, I get the tanks. The Shock Blaster 3 is an infinitely better defensive choice. I think the reason most of the top players will put that laser in there is because it eats through Zuka. So if someone tries either a smoky Zuka attack or a rifle Zuka medic Cryoneer attack, that is why the laser is there. And it's a decent choice, you know. As much as I've been a fan of the TRM, most of the global players still using either heavy Zuka or rifle Zuka Medic Cryoneer, because when you have more skill than I have, as well as less offensive statues, it can be a more effective troop combo. But given my skill set and the fact that I do have 8 boosted statues, I'm going to be rolling TRM. So that was that video. Again, a little bit different with the Shock Blaster 3. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Maybe picked up a tip or two. Alright, Spartans Elite, I am out.